Good evening. My name is Melvin Bailey, Executive Director of Community Male Empowerment Project.
I'm Chris Anthony. I'm with Community Male Empowerment Project.
So we do have another exciting show about community awareness. And the first topic we want to talk about today is housing. We want to talk about, and we're going to bring it up, we're going to talk about the pilot program that the city is launching. We're trying to figure out what's taking them so long to launch the program. First day of spring. You mean to tell me you guys don't have any housing ready? Hold on, let's bring it up.
Let's jump right to it.
Let's jump right to it. They announced this program. The city announced this program in January. You mean to tell me, at this present time, as you can see, I'm working on it, trying to bring it up. Here we go. Let's bring it up. Let me let you guys see.
So for the viewers that aren't aware, Melvin, the city housing program consists of what?
The city housing.
The pilot program, excuse me.
Okay, and let me see. Can I zoom in? So you got the city program, just like Anthony Simpkins was on, and he was talking about the housing initiative. The housing initiative is Ron Emanuel announced pilot program in housing around vacant and abandoned properties. So what we're doing is asking the city, here you go right here, new program to employ, develop, okay, not the homeless, not that one. Oh, but that's an excellent program. But he announced this program this year. And when I click on it, and you see it takes me right back to that screen. But at the same token, we can elaborate on it, and you guys can Google it because we have intelligent listeners. You guys, excuse me, I have a sore throat. But at the same token, where is the program? And again, we got to hold our elected officials accountable. We cannot sit back and let this summer come upon us and they do not launch this program. We want to hold his feet to the fire. He said it back in the first of the year. He's going to announce this program. It's going to provide affordable housing. It's going to provide jobs. It's going to provide opportunity. But now, going back into affordable housing, I'd like Chris to explain what is his criteria when he's looking for when he places someone into a new home.
So there's a few things that you want to do when you're in the process of trying to get yourself prepared for housing. One of the first steps that we always tell you is to figure out what your financing capabilities are. You have to sit down, and you should sit down and actually see what they are with an actual mortgage loan officer. One of those keys will be able to really kind of tell you what your purchase power is, and it'll also be able to kind of tell you where you fit in as far as for your taxes. So I say that to say is that it does start with your lender initially. A good real estate agent will be able to put you in tune with one and/or an attorney and/or an inspector and vice versa. So, you know, when you're talking with your realtor, you're looking online, you're going back and forth, you're seeing different properties, please make sure that you get yourself financing squared away. Once you understand your financing, then you can go and you can now start looking at properties, because now we know that you have the buying power. And once you have the buying power, now you can go and you can negotiate. One of the things I always try to say is at the very beginning stages, figure out, once you have your financing, figure out what area that you want to stay in. You kind of want to run a radius, and you want to actually have some check boxes that are certain needs or necessities that you're looking for. One may be the ability to be close to transportation.
Right.
The next may be the size or maybe a street preference. Third may be a number of bedrooms or something small, such as maybe desiring to be in a gated community. So these are a few different things that you can actually have for yourself in order to kind of begin your process. And
right.
Then from there, you'll set up a time to go and talk with an agent, do a consultation from there, and you'll go out. But the key to this thing here is just putting yourself in the proper place and putting yourself with the right people to help you get in those positions.
Right. And again, I'm going to apologize for this slight sore throat, but the show must go on. My people in the neighborhood, we're perished for the lack of opportunity. So this sore throat ain't nothing compared to the issues that's going on in our community. And reason why I had Chris to mention that, because we want to promote home ownership. We want us to be homeowners because we don't want to stay in a transitional process where we're renting and then next, we're transitioning renting in and out. In our community, if we look at the numbers, and in some communities like the Austin community, you know, I'm gonna have some statistics and have some stats for you guys to let you know which area on the west side and south side do more of renting and do more of home ownership. And I would like to say the home ownership area shows stability and stabilization. You know what I mean? What you think about
Correct.
that?
And we need to see those numbers up. I mean, those numbers are they should be much higher than what they are. And that goes to show, well, where is the money being spent back at? You know, you have to think local. You have to shop local. Our municipality should be supporting programs like this. This is why we're pushing to say, well, what's going on with the pilot program? Because we know that increases jobs. We know that now gives housing that wasn't available to a first-time home buyer. And you have to put yourself in this position. I mean, it was just that simple. I wasn't trying to make it anything complicated. It was a 3-step process. But you have to be able to empower yourself now by doing these things and then putting them into place. And so that's why it's always good to link up with community groups, link up with your local alderman, link up with the local organization that's in your community, because they're going to be able to help share resources with you. While Melvin pulls up the next program here, I always have to say it's spring. You know, where are your goals at? Where are you headed for your 2017? Because by the time you look up, we'll be in summer and then fall.
Yes.
So that's why I say right now you must capitalize. You know, today is March 20th. Today is the first day of spring. I always reiterate it, but you know, you can always do a lot by just taking one piece of motion and now moving it into a positive direction.
Right, and the reason why I'm bringing it up, because we're gonna hold them accountable. I want my listeners to, call your alderman, call the city. Hey, yeah, you did announce that you're gonna rehab so many homes. You put it in the paper, and now when you go online, you can't find it. What's going on? You think we're a fool? You just can't keep telling us any old thing and thinking it's all right. We're going to hold you accountable. Our elected officials, we got to hold you guys accountable, because if we don't, that means we're not doing what we have to do, and doing what we're here to do is ask questions. A lot of times, elected officials don't want you to ask questions. They want you to believe that their job, they're doing a fine job. Man, look at your neighborhood. It's fine. So what, you got vacant lots? That's fine. So what, you got abandoned buildings? That's fine. So what, you don't have a job? Ooh, that's fine. Don't ask us any questions. But at the same token, they want you to think everything is just fine. So that's why we're going to hold them accountable, and that's why we're going to hold their feet to the fire. And then we're going to talk about another subject. I want to talk about another topic that came across my agenda today. The agenda that we're going to talk about now is the union. We're going to get back on the union. Just like last segment we talked about the union. So my callers that called in last week, I think we might have something going. There's something brewing with the union, because in New York, 80% of their construction sites are non-union.
Did you hear that?
Man, I need to
say that again. Say that again.
Slow, man. 80% of New York construction sites are non-union. So you know what that means.
It's coming.
We want Chicago to be a right-to-work state, just like New York City. And now the unions are running scared. They trying to hold on to their last holding on. Whatever they trying to hold on to, they trying to hold on to it. But the fact of the matter is that you guys cannot hold on to this any longer. We had some brothers today down there at the union headquarters protesting them, doing a great job, bringing awareness to it. That's what we need. We need that, because you have too many construction sites in our community where we can take them young men off them corners and place them to a job. And even if they don't, right now they're in the union. Right now they can be in the union. They'll be making something like $38 an hour as a laborer. Who do not want to make $38 an hour as a laborer? But we need to let them know it just don't stop there, because this job will come to an end. But at the same token, we have a Republican governor that won't make this a right to work state. Donald Trump already did what he had to do in New York to make that a right to work state, and that'll be perfect for us. We'll do Davis-Bacon wages. So what we'll do is we'll talk about Davis-Bacon. We'll talk about, too bad, I like to try to blow it up. I'm trying to blow it up a little bit long, a little bit more. And it won't let me zoom in. But Davis-Bacon is a livable wage. And it's right at union scale. Because you coming in at affordable. You coming in at a great salary for Davis-Bacon. And then that would take the union all out of it, because what it looked like, we constantly paying the union and to be in the union, and we don't have a union job. What sense that make? And you got to keep paying them. You got to keep paying the union, even if you're unemployed. Now, what sense that make? Even if you're a contractor and you're signatory by the union still got you in a headlock.
Callers, if you want to call in, 312-738-1060. Please come and check us out. The website, Community Male Empowerment Project, CMEP.org.
Yeah, and if you're having any problems with the website, because I went on it to check, we got some people, we got our tech guy looking at that. I went on the website, and once I went on the website, I'm like, I typed in community CMEprojects.org. And when I typed in CMEprojects.org, it said it wasn't up yet. But if it does say that, it should be up real shortly. But we still have to continue talking about these issues that's going on in our community. These issues will not die. They will not die, because look at all what's going on. And the crazy part about it, there have us, and I got to throw this out there too. We talked to Lieutenant Johnson. Remember, these guys give us answers. We want the community to help us. Man, we gave Lieutenant Johnson a couple of ideas, thinking he, maybe I ain't gonna throw him under the bus yet, but I got to throw him up under that at a later date. I asked him. I gave him some suggestions, some ideas how to bridge that gap between the community and the police department. Yeah, sounds like a great idea. Somebody from my office will get in contact with you. Well, we still waiting on that contact. See what I mean? We still waiting on that contact. So, at the same token, we still got to keep pounding the pavement and continue working to make these people and the powers that be aware that we're here.
Right, and we got to continue to just, figure out where we lacking at. I mean, we got to fill that gap, that space. Every time that you see something wrong, say something. Don't just be a stranger. Don't just be the one to say, okay, hey, someone else will deal with it. Together we stand, united we are, and it shouldn't change. One of the things I always like to gravitate and learn from some of the older cats is that, once you have a solid foundation, once you have something that's laid properly, that has the right bricks and mortar, to use as my terminology of a house building, and then you can take the next levels and start building your exteriors, and then you finish that out, and then you do your interiors, and then your fine detailing and works. Once you put that together, now you have a community. Now you have something going. But there's a lot of parts that's missing. And I think a lot of people are going to see that once, things start, progressively, opening up. Because you don't really realize a void until you see dramatic losses, or you hear about dramatic things. And that's when people want to, go on and say, okay, hey, this is outrageous. It's been outrageous for a long time.
Right.
I mean, if you know what outrageousness looks like, then you already have been exposed to that, whether it was a few years ago or just recently.
Right, and he's right. You think about it. Things been got out of hand. We should have been had an hour-long show to bring the community in to talk about these issues. Not to even talk about them, to do something about them, because we just don't want to talk about them. We want to show some action.
Right.
We want to show some action, and that's why I'm so, really so boisterous about going down to City Hall and asking them, man, you guys got a failing grade so far. Man, you guys been had a failing grade. Look how our neighborhood gets so terrible. Didn't happen overnight.
It didn't. I mean, it didn't. And we could still build this thing back together, Melvin. I
Yeah.
really believe it, man. I said it from day one, from the jump, that we can still pull it out, and we are going to pull it out.
Well, we can build it back together with some new, bright, young millennials. That's going to help.
That's right.
I
new age. We're
Yeah,
going to extend our hand to you as an olive branch. We here.
Right.
You see this? We here.
Yeah, and I know that's how we're going to turn it around because, unfortunately, our older generation that's in power, the elected officials, I'm going to tell it like it is. They bought and sold. They bought and sold, man. I'm talking about by being bought and sold, you see how our neighborhood look. It don't make any sense. And I think we had a caller. Caller, please go call. You state your name and your concern.
Hello, I'm Avi Aronde. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to state is with the gentleman, looking at my screen, he's to my left, you're to my right from my screen, is about empowerment and people sticking together. I think one of the main issues in the community, because of me doing community work and working with young people and juvenile delinquents and ex-offenders, is
Congratulations.
we're not having enough people coming out to the alderman meetings. The aldermen are required in each community to have a town hall meeting.
That's a good point.
In a couple of the communities I went to just sit there. I've seen in the Gresham Auburn community, that's a large turnout.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it in the Inglewood community, that has been a large turnout. This is the issue. These meetings are mandatory, but there is no follow-up afterwards. People are not sticking together when they're hearing shootings in their area. They're not calling the police fast enough. They're not coming out getting involved. We have fear. We have at least 30 to 40% seniors in all of these areas because I am a product and have lived in these areas such as Inglewood, Gresham, Auburn, as well as Hyde Park, that also has high crime as far as robberies. In closing the concern is for everybody to stick together after these meetings, to stick together when there are shootings in the community, not just calling in and not coming out and sticking together. We didn't have this 35, 40 years ago.
That's
They
true.
were sticking together. There were people sticking together in these meetings. Aldermen were more involved. So this is the issue we're running into now, is people sticking together, and we need this happening. And I want to come in and just definitely tell both of you brothers to keep doing a good job. I'm a positive person. I want to encourage you to keep doing that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. You too. Continue spreading the word, and we're going to continue because we will meet up. We will see each other because we have some partners out in Inglewood and Auburn Gresham that's fighting the fight, and we most definitely like to see you so we can continue joining hands, linking up, and fighting together because that is an issue in our community. We do not stick together. We have that crabs in the barrel syndrome. We have that. It's a crabs in the barrel, but it's that hatred for one another.
And he's right. He's so right on. We will hate each other 1,000,000 times a day over something so small.
It's a
something
hatred.
petty.
300 years of suffering, being slaves, and we bring that mentality over here where the other man embedded in us, and we carried on. He don't care. He moved on, and next you know, but we still have that hatred for one another that we can't work together. I can't work with you, and you can't work with me. Why?
Because of what is outside influencing us.
Right.
We got people scared to try to speak up for the right thing. You see these incidents that happen, people getting beat up on the subway, or situations happen and people record it on the cell phone, but they don't want to call or say nothing. Come on, man. Stop that.
Right.
I don't want you to put yourself in danger, but at some point, everybody's got to know to realize, hey, you have to stay up and do the right thing for the community. Because sometimes people don't have a voice. Now I want us to realize that there are people out there that really care. They may not get the voice, but thank you, CAN TV. Thank you for letting us have just a few minutes of this viewership to kind of hear and say, hey, there's some real people out here trying to at least talk about real topics.
And just like he's saying, we, like the caller was just saying, we have to, unfortunately, we got to tell it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Them our kids, our grandkids, and we have to go tell them, man, put the pistol down.
It's
man.
the future, man.
Put the pistol down.
It's the future.
But I want them to put the pistol down, but then I want to offer them something in return. Here's a job. Go over there.
Here's a career path.
There you go.
Come over here.
There you go.
Here's some housing.
There you go.
Come over here.
Some education. Because that's what it's going to take them, you know, and then another thing that we're going to do in the near future, we're going to talk to them rappers. All them rappers that putting that negative knowledge and that negative energy out there, and our young men and women gravitating to it. And let me tell you why they gravitating to it, just like we said on the last show. It was shocking to me to find out that the school system been feeding our kids the Ritalin and the drugs for all them years to give their parents a check. Oh yeah, when the parents sign off on their kids to take the Ritalin, the Thorazine, and all the Withdrawal drugs, the parent will get a check. But then the kid go to the mama, my head hurt, my stomach hurt. Don't understand them withdrawal symptoms. Don't understand that. But at the same token, the mama say stop taking it. Then the kid go to school and act out badly, and behavior is bad.
And we don't know why.
Now they don't know why.
That's a question.
Oh, why he so bad? Why
is he aggressive?
Yeah.
Why is he violent?
Have you thought about the drugs you've been feeding that young man or woman for the past 5 or 6 years?
And then you cut away programs that support that. It's a ripple effect. That's what we talk about.
But what we have to do, we have to be more knowledgeable, and we have to tell the school system,
yeah,
man, there's nothing wrong with my kid.
We got to be more knowledgeable. We have to be conscious of our community, of our environment, of our political affiliations, and who really is looking out for the best interests. Everybody's entitled to their opinion and who they feel comfortable with, but you have to stand for something, or where you fall for nothing. So that's why I say I listen to the older ones. I have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? That's what a lot of the youth need to be hearing. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Start listening and start showing some respect.
And hold on, let's cut now. There go. See, they try to there's the program right there. Chicago announced pilot program to develop vacant homes. Where the program at, bruh? Where the program at? And then they talk about, they said this pilot program is a win-win, right here down in the second paragraph, in creating employment opportunities for high-risk youth, supporting communities, stabilizing, and turning vacant homes in communities into neighborhood strengthened. Yeah, okay, we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. We can, you know, we're not. Man, you thought we forgot? You thought we forget? Come on now, we ain't forget. It's right there, and we're gonna hold you to. We're gonna hold you to it. We're gonna hold you to it so we can go in Auburn, Gresham, Inglewood, because that's what the programs is for. Auburn, Gresham, Inglewood, East and West Garfield, not Austin, but they say East and West Garfield, Auburn, Gresham, Lawndale. So we're gonna hold your feet to the fire.
And just like what our caller was saying though, he made a good point. We really do got to unite. I mean, just even just on having commonalities that you may not have thought of. There's always something that you have in common with your brother next to you. There's always something that you may have with the stranger down the road that you just have. You just have to, want it to come out versus being so negative focused. That's why we got to figure out, after we get through talking about it, what's going to be, our plan of action or our next steps.
Well, hey, the plan of action and next step is this. We in your community, you got to become a voting powerhouse. You got to vote, and you got to get rid of them local elected officials. It's not in your best interest. That's the next step in the next plan. We got to get the community, make them aware of their voting power, so they can get these elected officials out of it, because we're coming up to another summer. Then next year they're going to be, then the election season is going to come around again. Then they're going to be telling another lie, and expect us to let them in.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we have to do. We're going to have to start getting these people, getting the youth, because they cater to the seniors. But now you hear the youth. All right. So again, thank you guys, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.